Here we are, still here at Presight, still trying to make ourselves hireable in the AI age by going home at the end of the week more knowledgeable about artificial intelligence than when we arrived. And to that end, I'm very pleased to be joined by Presight's Executive Office Government Advisor. He also looks after its Smart Cities Energy and Climate practice. He's the lead there, Martin Yates. Good morning, Martin.
Good morning, and thank you very much for the warm welcome, Brandy.
So, I spoke to Thomas Promoten, CEO, your boss, a couple of days ago about the uptick in international revenue in Presight's first half earnings. Very broad brushstrokes before you and I get into details. But when the company is pitching and working outside the UAE to countries, to governments, to cities, what exactly are you looking to do?
There's a diversity of requirements in the world today, and so when we look to the external markets, the international markets, we see very much a mirroring and a desire of what we've achieved here within the UAE, and in particular Abu Dhabi and Dubai, the kind of digital transformation that's taken place, the way that the governments are becoming much more efficient and smarter. So essentially, when we visit those markets, we're really seeing that desire and that need to adopt artificial intelligence to be able to get their data in order and to be able to make that transformation necessary for modern government. So that's very much driven. And that can be anything from engaging citizens at a more efficient and smarter way, but it also can be to the level of being a much smarter city. As for example, you've seen here, like within the UAE, Abu Dhabi and Dubai are already in the world ranking of top 10 of smart cities in the world. So it's something that we find incredibly brilliant to be able to bring to the world.
The word smart city gets thrown around quite a lot. What do we actually mean?
Yeah, there's absolutely 100 different definitions of smart city. But essentially, at the end of the day, it's really about enabling the citizens. It's really about a citizen-centric world that makes it a great place to live. It makes your city a great place, your region, and even your country. And of course, technologies themselves, such things such as IoT, and now with the use of AI, just makes it a much smarter, more intelligent, more inclusive place to live.
Give me some examples. I mean, you've got deals and MOUs with countries like Albania, with Tajikistan, with Azerbaijan. What kind of practical projects are you talking to these governments about?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So typically we see a very common need, and I think one that will resonate very much with many people is like traffic management. I mean, if we think of the congestions in the world that we see today, and you think of the GDP loss and like how much time people are spending in queues, this is a significant business impact. So traffic management is really very much the heart of what people try and achieve, but also to be able to have a more livable environment, better air qualities, better waste management, and so many different aspects that people are trying to say, I want to live in a smarter, more livable city where my kids get great education, where it's easy to do business.
What's the AI bit in that, though? What does AI, or what can AI do that we weren't able to do before?
So AI, I mean, although we obviously think about AI as quite new, it's been with us for many decades and has actually been used in the background, as you've seen before in many of the different platforms already out there. But what the new generative AI and now the agentic AI, it allows us to automate many of those processes. It allows us to make better decision-making, faster decision-making that just wasn't really practical in the past.
But what we're talking about here, when we're talking about data and when we're talking about essential infrastructure such as a country's roads, we're also talking about privacy and we're talking about security and ultimately we're talking about sovereignty. What's the sell for you? How do you go into other governments and say, yeah, sure, trust us?
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, first of all, our own reference model itself, we are a lighthouse to the rest of the world in terms of cybersecurity, protection, resilience. So already we come in with great credentials, and with the services and solutions that we've already developed here at home, they've been proven time and time again. So there is actually a pull from those governments to say, please share with us, what you've been doing and how you achieve that. And there's hardly a week that goes by here in Presight where we're not seeing a flag out there in the welcome reception area, a new flag, a new country coming to learn and understand how they can take those lessons away and transform their own country.
Learning from you is one thing, though. Trusting you with all of that data being so integral to a country actually being able to function. Are there nerves around that, and how do you counter them?
Yeah, look, naturally, in the world today, I mean, privacy has always been a central focus, but if you really focus on the cybersecurity, you focus on the policies and regulations up front, they're clear and transparent, you have the technology to underpin that and keep those customers, clients, and governments protected. And so that's really what we demonstrate in that life cycle of design and build.
What about, I mean, you mentioned regulation there. European data laws is the first one that springs to mind because it's had so much press over the last decade. But I mean, these countries will almost have data laws that don't even exist yet, some of them, given where they are in the cycle. How do you work for that?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. So you have very advanced countries and regions, and then you go to new countries that's really just starting on that journey. What does it mean to have real proper data governance? What does it mean to have real privacy in that sense? And how do we store it and how do we secure? So that really is part of the journey. So wherever you go in the world, there's always going to be a different starting point. But the most important point is to go in with a consultative approach and say, where are you today and where do you want to be? And we have ways to show you how we can protect that environment using data sovereignty models that we see are here in many places within the UAE itself.
Where are they generally, these countries? Are you having to deal with legacy systems or are you being able to leapfrog?
You know, it's a complete mix. I would say the majority of our cities and countries look today, they already have some form of infrastructures. So what you're looking to do is you're looking to say, what do you have now? What can be enhanced and taken, and what has to be net new? Of course, the most ideal platforms you can go to is a brand new city. So for example, it could be like Egypt's new capital. Right, that would be a fantastic, or NEOM, for example, in Saudi. So those net news allow you to lay down new platforms, new infrastructures, fresh and brand new. Whereas, you know, you go, for example, like London or the Sydneys of the world, you have to understand where, you know, what infrastructure and investments have already made. How do you reuse that and hybrid that in with the new artificial intelligence services?
Where do you geographically want to go? If we look at where Presight has gone so far, there's very much a home turf feeling in the region. And then, of course, we've got sort of Central Asia, the global south. How big could you take this? How much of Presight's business and the world could it be?
That's a great question. Honestly, the kind of platforms that we've been producing here, the kind of innovation that's coming out, I think sky's the limit, really, seriously, in terms of countries we can approach. And if you look at the map that we're lighting up now across the world, you know, South America is a good example as well of where we're seeing new markets occurring. But of course, Central Asia, Southeast Asia, these are all fantastic markets already for that new innovation and desire to actually move their countries forward.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on the show this morning. Martin Yates is the Executive Officer Government Advisor at Presight. He's got a big long title because he's in charge of many things, including its smart cities, its energy and its climate practice. Thank you so much for joining us on the show this morning.
Thank you so much. It's been such a great pleasure to be with you today. Thank you.
You are listening to The Business Breakfast.